This is Scott Davenport, Sales Engineer with Skyport Systems, and today I'm going to show you how to whitelist a virtual machine using a domain name instead of an IP address. So this will really speed things up and also make it more secure in that we don't have to potentially open up a larger, subnet than we'd want to, and we can use a specific domain name. In the case today, I'm going to use ftp.hp.com, and if your perimeter firewall doesn't support using names, you might have to open up the entire WAC8 to HP to make that work. And this will obviously be a little bit more secure way to do that and easier. And since I'm doing an individual VM, right, I don't have to worry about what other things are impacted. So at the perimeter, with your 5,000 lines of code there, or at a DMZ even, right, I'm dealing with an individual VM, and that can make things much quicker. So as I think about moving this workload closer to the perimeter, right now our secure appliance can live in your data center or can live out the perimeter, wherever you want it. We are a secure hypervisor, and I'm going to create a VM on this machine and show you how to nail it down. If your hypervisor does live out toward the edge, right, or on the edge, it's very important that it be secure. And we do that with our attestation process. So every 6 hours, these counters are recorded and sent up to the cloud to be verified, to make sure that there's nothing going on, with the hardware itself. So as you can see, the OS, the bootloader code, and all that, make sure there's no bots or rootkits on the hardware. So it's very important to start with secure hardware before anything else. Okay. So let's go over here. Now we have other demonstrations that show how to create this. So I'm just going to go really quickly here, and you can look into some of those others, right? But the general gist of what I did here, I gave this compartment a name. My compartment is what we run our VMs in, and then we do a default security posture. In my case, I did a whitelist mode, in which case I'm blocking all traffic in and out. You could import your existing VM from VMware, Hyper-V, Citrix, whatever. I just did a clean ISO install. Right, and I used a Windows 16 image that we make available here for you. So just like that, and then I give it some CPU, memory, right, and so forth, and that's it, right? And then the networking mode, transparent or NAT. Save and deploy, and about 10 minutes later at the speed of download, I've got a functional VM. Okay, and it looks like this. So this is the VM here that I've got secured down, and really nothing has been allowed to this machine really at all. I couldn't join the domain with this yet. It's functionally a brick, with the exception of what I've already allowed. So you can see all inbound and outbound traffic has been denied by default, and all I've enabled here so far, right, are the inbound and outbound rules to ftp.hp.com. Okay, that's it. So let's go look and see what that looks like. I've connected here using our secure console. Now you could use RDP to connect to this workload if you allow it, right? You'd have to make a rule. But using this, our console, I can connect to our workload here as well in the same type of a function. I've already logged in here, otherwise I'd be forced to, or prompted to log in. So let's fire up a browser here. And let's try to go to something like CNN.com. Something like that. It won't work. We can do this all day long. ESPN.com. Again, won't work. Fire up a new tab here. Now the use case for this here, I might have a very secure system. It's air gapped. I need to get patches to it, or probably more typically, I've got some sort of workload like this that needs to communicate with an AWS or an Azure type workload up there in the cloud. Right, and wouldn't it be nice to be able to secure that communication via name instead of IP address? The elastic beanstalk, I think Amazon calls it, that IP address tends to change frequently, and if your perimeter firewall only supports IP addresses, then that's going to be a challenge. And because I'm doing this to the individual VM, right, and then not to the DMZ itself or the perimeter firewall, I don't have to participate in change management meetings nearly as much, right, or as often, or to some scale, because I'm not really dealing with anything else in the environment other than this particular workload. So as you can see here, this works just fine. Do my save as usual, drop this down, and now I've got this cab file, ready to go. Okay, so just like that, we are connected to ftp.hp.com and nothing else. Okay, very simple. Now I'm going to go out here and I'm going to show you the reports here in just a second, but as I stated before, I couldn't really even join the domain in this level. Really, the only thing that's going to function here, right, is the FTP rules that I've created. We make this easy here too by adding client and server roles, right, if you will. Putting a domain controller on us is pretty common, right? I want to be able to have my domain controllers nailed down. I can just make up any domain for now. Typically, you'd use your correct one. But I also want to show you what this looks like. There's the rules, important protocols that are necessary to participate in Active Directory. And so we have these just set up as roles here for you. So with a couple of clicks, you'd be off and ready to go. So I just wanted to show you, how easy that is to do. Simultaneously, I could, with a second click, I can make this a Windows Update client. And now I can connect again by name, right, to Windows Update if necessary in order to get patches. So this thing is exposed out on the internet, right? And it can only talk to Windows Update, and ftp.hp.com. That's it, right? So full whitelisting of this VM, right, with a couple of clicks, and we make it easy. And because you've moved everything out closer to the perimeter, we want to make sure that that hardware is secure as well, right? Which is why I showed you the attestation process there. So I've only got these few rules here, and then these other rules might be might be added there depending on what I needed to do. Okay. So we'll bounce over to our report section here, and we'll take a look, and we can see, in the last 15 minutes here, this is the blocked traffic, and of course there's going to be a lot of it because I haven't enabled much. So there's CNN, right, that's getting blocked. ESPN is in here, right, somewhere. There's the Bing. And then here's the allowed traffic down here, ftp.hp.com. So I have just a little bit of allowed traffic, and then also the DNS traffic you can see here. The DNS servers you would set up when you're installing our appliance. This whole process here to create this VM took me about 15 minutes, like I said, and that includes the download time for a 5 gig, ISO. So this is very quick, to go ahead and get started. And whether this is 15 minutes or 15 weeks or 15 months, right, we can parse big data here very quickly. So that's part of the nature of having a cloud-based backend with our appliance that lives in your data center. Okay, so that's the story. So go ahead and try this at home and see how well that works, because I know it's going to be probably a little bit cumbersome here to do what I did here that quickly in your environment, if it's even possible at all. So let us know how that works out for you. Look us up on skyportsystems.com and give us a shout. Or also if you want to hear more about what you saw here today. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.